There we go.
There you are. So then I heard somebody say recording in progress. Glenda, can you hear us? Glenda, you're not saying anything, or your audio is muted or something, I think.
Okay, let's see.
I hear you now.
Oh, I can't share in this meeting. Only the host can.
Yeah. Well, I can hear you and see you now.
It
Okay.
said I think it said it's recording. It is recording.
Yeah,
So.
something said it was recording.
We just had a minor problem. The person that usually runs the meetings had to leave. And so I had to call up there and say, hey, help. And they finally got it all together and figured it out. So I'm glad that we're here. Sorry about the late start.
Not a problem for me.
It gave me time to pick up from school, so it worked out fine.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we're ready to call this to order then.
Yes.
At 3, according to mine, it's 3:09.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Well, let's see.
Let's look at the minutes of the last meeting. Has anybody had a chance to look over those? Have any objections or any issues with anything?
I thought they were good. I read them. So I make a motion that we accept it if everybody agrees.
Second.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second to accept the minutes. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Travis.
Travis. Well, I knew it wasn't you. I guess it had to be Travis. Okay.
Okay, ready for the director's report then.
Yes. Okay. The first paragraph we're going to talk about in new business, but if we can go past that, I've been in discussions with Polaris, the software company, and they are wanting to host us so I don't have to buy servers every 3 or 4 years. But they want a lot of money to do that. And it's more than it would be for me to replace the equipment. Plus IT's helping us out. So I don't, right now, I'm going to get in a discussion with their engineers and bring Ann Gresham from Springdale in on it and see if they can make it worth our while. If it's going to cost $23,000 a quarter, we're not doing it. And that's what was quoted to me. So
that's a pretty steep price, isn't it?
Wow.
yeah, it is. And that's on top of the $30,000 we pay them each year.
Wow.
And so as long as IT's willing to help us, I think we'll probably just continue on. But I'm going to give it due diligence and see. But I think they're too expensive for us. So
Sounds like it to me.
yeah. We went, all right, visited the Elkins Library Board meeting. Things are a little better there. We do not have a replacement board member yet. That may be stuck with the mayor. So that's why we had to have a quorum today, because Karen's working at the hospital. The person from Lincoln has never shown up. And then Susan's not serving anymore.
Right.
So,
Do we
sorry,
have
I'm
a
croaking.
person? Do we have a person from Lincoln, or we
do, but
just
and I've
they never
talked to her. The first year she couldn't come because of COVID. She works for the senior center.
right?
I haven't talked to her this year. I talked to her at the end of last year, before our December meeting, tried to get her to attend, and so she couldn't. So I said, well, maybe this year, and I didn't hear anything back. So I'm going to ask the judge if Lincoln can get us a board member that can serve.
Well, if you want to, holler at me after the meeting, and if nothing else, I'll talk to the Lincoln mayor and see if we can prompt them to get us somebody that'll show up.
Yeah, that would be good, because I don't think this person has ever been in the library,
Right.
and the librarian doesn't know them.
Well,
So-
if you'll remind me sometime after the meeting,
Sure.
I'll see if I can get a hold to talk to some people at Lincoln. Maybe we can get us somebody appointed out there.
Okay. And we might have to do Elkins that way too.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
don't know. But I will call you.
Okay.
And you remember the whole COVID test blitz that we did?
Right.
I noticed that 2940 finally took off their TV thing, or on the website that says libraries are giving them out.
Right.
I started to write him several times, but I didn't know if Fayetteville had gotten more or so, but that's gone. I turned in the paperwork for the assistant director position. It went through personnel committee, went through JSAP, and went through personnel committee, so I can hire, but I only budgeted for half a year. So this late spring, early summer, we'll be starting a search. And I'm hoping COVID will be better by then, and maybe we can get somebody in here.
Right.
So, right now, the librarians are working on the annual report. They have till the end of March, and then I get it from April 1st to 15th. And I'll do the major compilation. They give me the information that I don't have, their expenditures and all of that. And then I take that and the information that's available in the system, like the circulation and all that stuff, and put it all together. And last year it was on 200 pages. So by the time you get it all filled out, we've had 2 staff members out with COVID here in the office, and then another one out with a spouse's illness. So it's been a little slim around here, but I think we're getting back full crew.
Good.
And then we had the librarians reports, Lincoln, Farmington, West Fork, and Elkins. Did you all read those by chance?
Mhm.
Okay. Then we can go past those. Everybody is busy though, seems like. And everybody, most everyone took advantage of the CARES Act and the ARPA Act, but then that got changed. So, and they're already started more ARPA grants this year. So maybe they'll be able to get it through before the end of the year. I think that's what happened with the first big ARPA grant, was that it got too close to the end of December. And they just said, we're just going to give it to everybody for ebooks. But that means the individual libraries didn't get it. Let's see. Any questions about that at this point? Okay.
You're talking about the CARES money later on in the meeting, right?
Yes, right.
Business. Okay.
So that finishes the reports and maybe got us back up to speed. So.
Okay, I guess we're ready for the financials then, aren't we?
Yes.
Because we don't, yeah.
I have 2 things in the December treasurer's report. On 3B3, on December 16th, we purchased $990 worth of barcode labels from the company Qosity. We've dealt with them before, but under a different name. I buy barcodes about every 2 years. So it was $991.05. And then we had income of $106,931, and that's the CARES Act money. And we have a new item on 3B4 on December 29th. Right in the middle, it's MASA, and that is the new AirEvac group that we use for benefits. And in January, on 3B5, we have an annual payment of $621.97. And that is for the book jackets that show up in our catalog. If we didn't pay for that, we wouldn't have those nice, colorful jackets. And above that, for $30,537.06 is our annual payment to Innovative for them providing support and use of the software. So, and on 3B6, apparently the comptroller's office cut 2 checks for insurance, Brown and Brown of Northwest Arkansas, and then they credited it back to our account down on January 21st. They pay that in one check and divide up all the departments. And so, but that was corrected. On 3B7, we have the grease pig in there 3 times, and that's because we have to divide up the oil change between labor, product, and service. So, and then on January 27th, there's another risk management fund, and that's our share of the county vehicle insurance. So let's see. In February, I don't think I had anything out that wasn't, that you haven't seen before. No. So we're up 213,000 over last year at this time.
Part of that would be that 106,000 you got on the CARES money also. So.
Correct. So if we go to the statement of operation, wait a minute. Statement of operations. Things are looking pretty good. Let's see.
The only thing I saw was utilities, electricity, 100 were over budget. Or
Yeah, but that's when we did our annual PO, we did it at the previous year's rate instead of the current rate that is $15 a bill.
You're right.
And so we've got it over encumbered, and I need to fix that.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah. And then you can see on 3B13, line 3052 is the Brown and Brown insurance, and 3053 is the fleet liability with the AARC. And that just gets paid once a year. And then there's the electricity. It's a problem. Okay. Other than that, we're only 9% expended for Winslow and 14% expended for Greenland. But we're making progress. That takes us to the cash flow statement, which is 3B16. And if you compare February of 22 to February of 21, the third line, it's, like I said, it's a difference of $213,408.40. So, and again, part of that's that CARES Act money. Any questions about the financials?
Anybody? If there's no questions, I'd accept a motion to accept the financial report.
So moved.
Travis, and second.
Second.
Susan,
Second.
all in favor, show of hands.
Thank you.
All right, moves us to statistics.
I have that problem too.
Every once in a while, it doesn't want to split out just right.
Yeah. Hopefully in another year, we can get back to numbers that look closer to normal. We still have some people that are up 152% over last year for the month of November. You know, for the year end, Farmington was up 100.4%. Winslow was up 136.4%, but that's because they were closed so much. But we're getting there. It's people have found other things to do with their time. And I think it'll be a while before some people get back into the libraries. But they're all open now. And people are talking about having live, well, I know Prairie Grove's having live programming. And they're looking at live programming for the summer too. So that's a good thing. On 3C3, on down in the second section where it says WCLS circulation by item owning library, because it was 0 the previous year, it doesn't know what to do with it. And so that was the only way I could display it. But and then you have 2 sheets for system statistics. 3C4 is for 2021 and 3C5 is for 2022. And the numbers are increasing over last year, again, even for those items. Library cards, and we had a big spike in November. And then in September, Springdale had added entries for all of the school kids in Springdale so that they could use Overdrive. And let's see. And then our monthly and year-to-date circulation statistics on 3C6 were up 136.12% over last year. Last year, we ended up 51.64%. Over the previous year, that was minus 62.5%. So I'd say we're headed in the right direction. I'd like to see smaller numbers eventually, though, you know, so that things don't change so much. But
Something realistically.
Yes. Anybody have any questions about those?
Not for me.
Just comment, it looks like things are trending like they were back in 18 and 19. We're getting closer, so it's
Right.
very positive sign.
I'm just hoping that we're not getting ready to have another wave. They're talking about the possibility, and with spring break, you never know. So
That's true. What you budgeted, your fuel and stuff like that, is the gas prices having any effect on?
we will probably have to transfer some money into that line item.
Everybody else is.
Yeah. So far, we have not. The county does get a little bit cheaper fuel,
Right.
but I had a sheriff's deputy call me the other day and wanted to know if they could set up their substation in Winslow again, because they don't need to be driving around as much and they can go in there and file their reports. They used to do it because they needed a computer, but now that they have laptops and everything, but a place to get out of the car.
Right.
So, and I told him I didn't have the authority to do that, but, directed him to the mayor and he was going to take care of that. So,
Okay.
That brings us up to that thing that most people are going, oh, not me, not me, not me. Election of officers.
I know I'm the chair. Who's the vice chair?
Susan Unger.
That's what I thought it was. So since she's no longer here, and for the moment, I don't mind staying on as chair. However, I will tell everybody I am running for a justice of the peace position out here. There's a whole bunch of us running, so I may or may not end up in that position. If I do get elected, I'll have to resign from the board. But I don't have to worry about that till November. So it's up to y'all. If y'all want me to stay in, great. If you don't want me to stay in, just as great.
I'd like to nominate Gary Ricker to be the chairman.
Okay.
All righty then. Is there a second on that?
I second.
Okay, all in favor. Anybody else? Anybody want it? I don't see anybody jumping up and down. So all in favor of me. All right, 3 and 1 abstain. Or do I have to vote on that?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but
What about a vice chair then? Anybody?
What does the vice chairman have to do?
Not a thing unless I'm not there.
and then I'll tell you what to do.
You can nominate me and I'll take it. How's that?
I'll nominate Travis then.
Okay, great.
A second on that? Susan seconded. All in favor of Travis as vice chair?
Thank you, Travis.
Taking care of that part.
Okay. Well, let's see. That brings us to new business. I don't know how I can mess up my papers so fast. Okay. Well, new business was election of officers, and now the CARES Act money. Like I said, the state had to get the money spent by the end of the year. And so the one thing that they knew everybody had spent more money on was ebooks. And so they reimbursed that rather than doing the construction grants that were originally planned. So they gave us $106,000 for all the ebooks that we purchased between April of 2020, is that right? Through November, end of November 2021. Anyhow, Springdale also got $156,000 reimbursement for their ebooks. And what I would like to do is, because the remaining 5 municipal libraries had applied for some construction and other things like that and didn't get it, even though there's a 3rd round going out, I thought it would be nice if we divided 100,000 of that between Elkins, Farmington, Lincoln, Prairie Grove, and West Fork, and give them 20,000 each with no stipulations about what it be used for. But to give them a chance to get a touchless water, what is that thing? Drinking fountain.
Drinking fountain, water. Now-
Or book lockers so that they can leave things for people to pick up. Springdale was looking at new flooring, but they've got their money and they applied for ARPA again. But I just thought it would give them some money to maybe make some needed changes so that people can come to the library and feel safer about, whatever it is.
Are there any restrictions on that? Once we got the money, can we do with it as we please? Or
We
does it
can.
have to be spent for something that the grant said it has to be
No.
spent for?
No, in fact, I could have kept it in our account and used it for the next year's distribution, but I thought because people are having to deal with things they haven't dealt with before, or now they know they have problems,
Right.
that we could help them
Okay.
take care of it.
I have no objection as long as there was no strings attached to that money on the federal level, because so much of the grant money comes in, they've got all these little rules about how you can spend it.
I questioned the state librarian about it, and there were no stipulations. And because it turned into CARES Act money.
Okay.
And that's why they were able to do what they did instead of losing it all because they hadn't finished the process.
You got to get it in before the deadline to get anything, and
Right. So December 15th, they decided that they needed to do this. And then in January, we had to produce all of the invoices and checks for all of those purchases, which took a while, but we managed to do it and got it sent. And somebody down at the state library is matching everything up. Yeah, no, I double checked about stipulations and there are none. So,
well, I don't object to dispersing it out. Like I said, it comes out to 20,000 for each one of the 5.
yes,
Give or take. And then have you briefed any of the librarians on your plans here, Linda, or you plan on
yeah,
giving them?
I have.
Okay.
And I know Audra's interested in it. Farming, Rachel's interested.
Okay.
I have not talked to Lincoln or Prairie Grove.
I'm sure everyone's interested. It's free money, so
Yeah, yeah.
I would be
think they're gonna turn
interested.
it
So
down. Yeah, but it might give them a chance to.
Mhm.
if no one has any objection to it, I'd entertain a motion to allow Glenda to disperse that CARES Act money, 20,000 each library, which will leave some little odd remaining amount, just leave it in the central office.
Yes.
I second. I think it's a good.
Well, I
Okay,
didn't have a motion first. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll motion.
Susan made the motion. Felice, you seconded.
Yes. Or
Okay.
first.
Any discussions, questions?
Susan made it.
Yes,
And
ma'am. And
Felice
Felice seconded.
Second.
And all in favor, show of hands.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much. I know that they'll be happy. And it'll take some strain off of them, trying to get these things done that they weren't able to do.
Well, like I said, free money with no strings is there's always a place to use it.
And, I don't feel like I'm cutting Springdale out of anything because they got
plenty.
more money than that to begin with.
Right.
But I just think it would be helpful. And people have ideas about what they want to do with it. And I'm sure Lincoln won't have any problem coming up with ideas either. So,
All right.
So
Well,
now
that
I have
takes
to-
care of that. Then I guess next we need to, yes, ma'am.
what I'll have to do next then is get this submitted on the financial committee agenda, and then I'll have to go to quorum court. But I don't think anyone will give us any problems.
No, shouldn't have.
When you go to quorum court, would you need any of the library board to be with you?
No, actually, I've gone once this year already for the position. And I may not even have to go to the quorum court if it gets a due pass in the finance committee meeting, which I think it will. So, but they can be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So, okay, I'm sorry, Gary. That's
Oh,
all
no, that's all right. That's me running for that position. My wife asked if I had that sucker tattoo on the. I guess the next thing there'd be, when do we want to set the next meeting?
Normally, we would meet in June. And that would put us on target for budget in September. And then meet maybe in November.
All right.
It's up to y'all.
Which Thursday in June would you like? Doesn't make a difference to me so far.
Not the
If,
last,
I'm sorry.
not the 30th. I'll tell you, not the very last Thursday.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
So
16th or the 23rd work for anybody?
16.
that 16th.
Okay.
Going
That
once,
gives me,
going twice. 16th.
okay. I don't know if it's going to be Zoom or not.
Well, I'd sure like to see a face-to-face meeting. I'm really, really tired of Zoom myself.
Yeah,
Well, right now, our office is kind of full. We've got,
Oh, we could meet anywhere.
well, that's
we
true.
started to go around to different libraries and that got
That's true.
shut down. So I think we actually met at the Greenland Community Center once, and then
If you want to try to set up one meeting at one of the other libraries, that's fine with me. I don't have any problem with it.
Okay. Let's get through spring break and see what happens.
There's no
And-
big rush, as long as we know a day or so ahead of time.
Well, maybe more than that.
Yeah.
The press has to know 2 days ahead. So, or at least that's how I was brought up. So Carl
Right.
Koffler always told me that.
Well, you have to let the boss know, which means I have to tell my wife because she's the one that makes plans for everything. I never know what I'm doing until she tells me.
Okay. Well, let's set on it being the 16th of June. In April, I will contact the libraries and see if anybody would like to have us visit and do that. And then I'll let you know.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Got it.
Okay.
June 16th.
All right. Anything else that we need to take care of before we adjourn?
I don't have anything. This is one of the fastest meetings we've had,
That's because we're good.
and we started late.
That's all right. We take care of business and get on the road.
Yeah.
All right. If
Thank
no one
you.
else has any questions or anything, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Travis? All in favor?
Susan.
We are adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great day.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back in touch. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Or do you want to stay on, Gary, for a minute?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. Well, no, let's do this later.
Okay, yeah, just holler. Now, Glenda, you can holler